Susan, and welcome to Tea and Games. The tea today is another big pot of Builders because it's strong. I'm late getting the video out this week. Sorry about that, but I kind of feel like that y'all are not just waiting on the edge of your seat for the next video from me to drop, so I kind of figure it's going to be okay. Also, I planned out what I was going to talk about in this video, and then OBE, overcome by events. But we'll start at the beginning anyway, and then go on to the big stuff. We start small. Last weekend actually was not a good weekend for gaming for us. We played 2 new games, and it didn't go real well with either one of them. We played one game off of our, let me move this out of the way, I'll get to that in a minute. One game off of our unplayed game shelf, which has been on the shelf for a very, very, very long time, and that is Evolution. And I am not going to say much about this game because I'm not sure that I did one of the cards I depended upon very heavily correctly. I don't feel like that either one of us got a good grasp of the strategy of the game, and it's possible that we were not doing some things correctly. This is one that we're going to have to give another try to. I love the cover. I mean, the box art is what drew me in, and the idea of like building these ultimate animals. Oh, excuse me. Must have swallowed a big gulp of air when I gulped my tea. But we're going to give this another play sometime and see if we can get it a little bit less, I don't know. It just didn't feel right. So, and then the other game we played is the very, 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 very small game of Sprawlopolis. This is our first time playing it. This game is a 1 to 4 player game, but a lot of people have made the point that this is basically a solo game. The 1 to 4 players is co-op. And I don't know, I don't feel like you really need to co-op with anybody to play this game. And the co-op just seemed like it was kind of okay. You're supposed to have limited communication for the co-op game. And these are what the cards look like. They're laid out like this. On the backside are scoring conditions. You put 3 cards at random this side up to determine the scoring conditions of each game. There are 18 cards, so the possibilities for scoring conditions are endless. And we played 2 games of it, and in the second game, we actually had scoring conditions that were contradictory to each other, meaning you couldn't do one if you did the other, and you have to try to get the most points off of various things. And I thought Robert would be really good at this because he is like the king of tile laying games. His favorite game is Carcassonne. And he's really, really good at polyomino games. And this game, it has 4 blocks on each card. And there are often, but not always, 2 streets on each card. And you lose points for unconnected streets. I mean, you would only lose 1 point if you had one big, huge, like circular street, or one street that meandered everywhere and went off on either end or something. But still, you would lose a point. And the interesting thing about this is that you are not trying to matchy things up like this. What you're trying to do here is fulfill the scoring conditions, which may say you need a park block, or you need residential here right next to commercial in a certain specific pattern or something. And you see how I've got these cards here? You can lay them out this way. That's one of the things that's interesting about Sprawlopolis, is that the rules allow you to overlap cards like this, and like this, and like this. So, you know, you can get into a lot of trouble that way. I am sure that that makes meeting scoring conditions a little bit easier. You also get points for your largest block of any color, like I would get 2 points for that block of blue if it was the largest block of blue. And blue is commercial, green are parks. And it is an interesting little puzzle. But, you know, it's like after we finished 2 games of it, Robert said, my brain hurts. I mean, we just tanked badly. I mean, we just got our heads handed to us. With putting both of our heads together, we could not figure it out successfully to get the number of points that we need. And the number of points that you need to win varies from game to game also, because the scoring conditions that you have out, those numbers up at the top, you add them together, and that's the number that you need to make in order to have a win. There isn't a set win condition in terms of number of points. So, I mean, we put both of our heads together on this game, and we just, oh man, we just got shellacked. And it is a tough little puzzle. I suspect that we just got kind of bad win conditions for beginner games, though I will tell you, I did try to cherry pick the win conditions for that first game to something that I thought would be an easier choice, but probably wasn't. But after the game, Robert's just going like, my brain hurts. That was like after 2 games back to back. And by the way, the 15-minute time for playing this game, that seems like that's a really short time because it took us more than 15 minutes for each game. Because, I mean, it's a thinky little puzzle. And later on, we were talking about the game, and Robert's just like a week later, well, it's not quite a week, but like a couple of days ago, Robert was going like talking about Sprawlopolis. He says, it broke my brain. So, I mean, simple little thing. It's kind of like a tile laying game, but he's just going, his idea is that we should play this game once every weekend until we get the hang of it. I thought that we should just play game after game back to back, because, you know, that way we could just kind of like have it fresh and get the hang of it and that kind of thing. And he's going like, no, we played 2 games back to back last week and I can't do that again. So, I mean, this just did not go at all like I thought it would, because I thought that he would just whiz through this and just like everything would click, and that essentially he would help me with the game because I am less good at this kind of thing. But boy, no, that did not go that well at all. And then on top of that, we played Evolution. We only had 1 game day because Saturday was Earth Day, so we were out in the woods hiking around with a friend. And the other game was Evolution, so it's like Evolution and Sprawlopolis. So it was not a great weekend for gaming. We had a lot more fun out in the woods, honestly. I also, this past week, have been playing some of my solo button shy games. We got Numbsters. This is fun. This is a fun little puzzle, and you can almost play it in your hand, like holding the hand of cards, but you still need to have a lap or surface for draw and discard. But essentially, all you're doing, you have numbered cards, the Numbsters. They're drawn like monsters. See? Numbsters. And you've got to arrange the cards. You will have 7 in your hand at any given time. You've got to arrange the cards so that one number eats the other number in which it is discarded, and the eating card is the mouth card. And it's got to be between the 2 cards that are eating and being eaten. Let's see. And the normal rule is that, well, I'm just not turning over any. Yeah. Not turning over any cards that are sequential. The trick is the cards have got to be sequential. Yeah. You've got to, that's the basic eating rule. And I'm just not turning over any sequence. Oh, there we go. 6 and 7. Okay, so you've got a hand of cards here, and you can move or swap. You can move or swap cards. 1, 2, 3, 4. I should have 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. So this is what a typical hand would look like. And so you can move a card or swap a card, including the mouth card. Oh, wait. Did I not put the mouth card in there? Oh, there it is. Okay. So the mouth card, the pink card, has to get between the cards that are eaten. But the thing is, see how I've got it here? You can't ever have the mouth card on top or you lose immediately. So the smaller card always eats the larger card. So that would mean these would go away and you would lose instantly. But say if you had the 6, you could rearrange the 6 and the 7. And if you put the mouth card, because you can move the mouth card among the cards you move, then 5 could eat 6. But there are, you may notice, text on the bottom. The card that's the top card here, you can use that special eating rule to allow you to eat when you don't have sequential numbers. But after it's been used, then it goes to the back of the deck. And you draw another card to go onto the top, which has a new eating rule. But the thing about it is, because the mouth goes, not the mouth, the card that has the special rule you use goes to the back after you use it, you have to be really careful about where the mouth is when you use it. Otherwise, you could use this and end up with this. So, yeah, it is a tricky little puzzle, and it is a lot of fun, and it does play really, really fast. You can hold your cards in your hand because you are dealt 6 cards plus the mouth, and then you draw, the rest is the draw deck. So yeah, it's a very easy, fun game, and you can play this while you're watching TV, although I don't recommend it because you need a little bit of concentration. If you're just shifting things around, like not paying any attention, you're going to lose pretty quick. But I had a lot of fun playing that. This is definitely a winner in terms of solo games. This is just a lot of fun. It kind of reminds me of those slider puzzles where you're moving the numbers around, except because of course you're moving numbers around. But there are very specific rules as to how you move these numbers. So anyhow, that was one of the things we've been playing. And then this week, caught a glimpse of this earlier, didn't you? This arrived. The Titan box for Moonrakers. So I already had the base game, and I liked it. If I had not had the base game and played it and liked it, then I wouldn't have backed Titan. I'm not going to go all in on something that I have zero experience of. But yeah, except I did go kind of all in on the whole Sprawlopolis, Naturopolis thing, and I had no experience of those, but that was small. They're tiny little games, and this is a big game. So Moonrakers by IV Studios. It's a fun little game, space-based. See, here is the base game. Notice how much smaller the base game box is. And the organization in the base game is really, really compact. See? Nifty little insert. So, and it's got it labeled along here which all the different cards are, so that works out really well. This also has like massive organization, and they do have a diagram showing you how things are layered and where everything goes, which I really, really appreciated. So I'm really excited about this. What did I get since I already had the base game? I got the expansions and I got some blingy upgrades. And I got card sleeves for all of the stuff because this is a really nice game and I want to keep everything in really good shape. And considering that I may be playing this with random people, in fact, Monday I will be playing it with random people. I wanted to, make sure that I kept the cards in really good shape. So I got card sleeves, and the card sleeves for the base game is also sleeved. But there's all kinds of cool stuff in the Kickstarter. There is the Overload expansion, which is the one that I was really looking forward to, because it's got these supercharged cards, which this game is a space themed negotiation game, but it's also a deck builder. I mean, that's basically how you fulfill the contracts that you negotiate is through drawing and playing cards. So, I mean, you've got to stack your deck with cards that are going to be really helpful to you and try to eliminate the cards that are not going to work for you. So yeah, it's very much a card-based game, but it does have boards, and I enjoy it a lot. And for a deck builder, what you really want are really good cards, and the Overload expansion, it gives you supercharged cards. The cards are better than the cards in the base game. So I was very excited about that. I'm hoping that that will help me a lot. Of course, it's going to help the other players too. So there is that. But I think it's going to be really good for gameplay. And there are 2 other expansions. One of them is the Binding Ties expansion, which really kind of leans into the whole negotiation thing. Where you have a reputation board that, and you can, I don't remember. I'll have to look at it again. It's been a while since I researched all this thoroughly before I decided what to get in the Titan box. Initially, I was just thinking, I'll get the Overload because great cards, And then I started researching the other expansions. There's Overload, there's Binding Ties, which really leans into the whole, basically making it more encouraging good faith negotiations, making it more rewarding for good faith negotiations. And then there is the Nomad expansion, which quite frankly, right now off the top of my head, I don't remember what it does, but I decided to get it because at the time I did research what it did. Please research games. If I say a game is great and I had a lot of fun playing it and I loved it, that does not mean that you're going to have a lot of fun playing it and that you're going to love it. Because, I mean, there have been games where I know other people, I'm watching them online and they're having a great time and I'm looking at that and I'm going like, wow, and they're enjoying this. This is like watching paint dry. It's like, it just kind of depends on what you like. And I like Moonrakers. And I'm really looking forward to playing the Titan box. I've set up a game with a couple of local gamers at our friendly local game store to play this on Monday. So next week, I should be able to report on one of the expansions. We're only playing the Overload expansion. I felt like that it would be too much to learn all at once to just basically learn all 3 expansions and then roll them all in at one time. I know people do like to just drop those kind of bombs into their games, but I don't like that. I would much prefer to take the expansion that has the least impact on gameplay, which would be the Overload expansion. Play that first, and then maybe add in Binding Ties, which adds another board to the game, I think, and then add in Nomad, basically just kind of ramp up. That way there's less of a learning curve, less of a load on players. The 2 people I'll be playing with are familiar with the game. I think one of them definitely is. The other one I know has ordered the Titan box too, so I would presume has some familiarity with the game, assuming other players research games. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to that, and we are going to give Sprawlopolis another try this weekend. So Monday, Moonrakers with 1 expansion. This weekend we're going to do Sprawlopolis and something else which is game to be named later. And this is Friday, so the game is not going to be named all that much later. And that is what has been happening. So anyhow, it's been fun sitting around the table, bringing you up to date on what we've been doing from the very, very small, whoa, wrong way. And I drop something. Yes, it wouldn't be a game if I wasn't dropping something. From the very, very small to the very, very large. It's been interesting around here, let me tell you, because all of this stuff is kind of new. Well, I mean, the expansions to Moonrakers is new. The Button Shy games, these are Button Shy games, buttonshy.com. And Evolution is off our unplayed game shelf from way, way back. So, I mean, all of this stuff is new, and it's been kind of wild. So, I will see you next time around the table. It's been fun.